Hi everybody, welcome back to Bonnie and Clyde Discuss. Today we have an important topic, stress at work and how to deal with it. So I've got 6 lovely clips for us, funny clips, some serious clips, bit of both interwoven in. So, excited?
Yeah.
Let's get into it, shall we?
Let's do it.
Here's a tip for handling stress at work. The thing is, the more successful you become, the more stress you're going to have to handle. I remember when I got my first director role, one of my mentors pulled me aside and said, now that you're not a manager and you're a director, we don't actually pay you to do stuff anymore. We pay you to handle stress. And it's kind of true. Next time something really bad at work happens, practice what's called temporal distancing. Basically, in your head, you're going to time travel. Go 10 years in the future. Does that problem matter? Does that thing that got said in the meeting, is it really going to affect your life? If the answer is no, drop it. Stop thinking about it. It seems really easy and kind of silly, but trust me, it works. Everyone goes through the same inner monologue conversation. Did I sound dumb in that meeting? I should have handled it this way. Everyone does it. You're not alone. But here's the thing. No one else is thinking about it but you. No one's thinking you sounded stupid in that meeting. No one's thinking you should have handled this different. It's all in your head. Put in the comments if this works for you.
Off strong, out of the gate. What do you think?
I like the idea of temporal distancing, but it's difficult sometimes. I mean, as we've discussed in previous videos, I'm an overthinker. So it's hard for me to think about something 10 years from now and say, does it matter? Okay, stop thinking about it in the present.
Yeah, I think he's got been given some advice that I've been given as well, right? The further up the ladder you go, the less work you ironically do. And I think a great way of does it matter in 10 years' time, the decision we make today?
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll be yes, right? Some are generational things where we say, okay, more budget, etc. But most of the time the answer is no. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day, especially with the majority of blue collar jobs out there. If you make a mistake, you make a mistake. It's not going to the end of whatever you're doing.
Right.
So who really cares?
Yeah, and I suppose if you are one of those people who has just gotten a managerial or a director job or a deanship, let's say, you're thinking, oh gosh, I don't want to mess up. I don't want to screw this up. So every single decision I make matters.
Yeah. I feel like today needs a trigger warning. For some people are going to be triggered by all this kind of stress talk. But
yeah,
you've had your warning now. Now you've got 5 more clips. Should we get into the next one?
Yeah.
Okay, so Fishbowl is where you go to see what everyone else is getting paid as an employer. It's completely anonymous, right? So it's like the LinkedIn, but instead of I don't know if it does jobs, maybe it does. I haven't actually used it, but I've seen the advert a whole bunch of times. But yeah, you just go in and say, hey, I'm a project manager somewhere randomly, right? And you can go in and say, hey, I'm earning 100,000, and you can compare yourselves to other organizations or whatever, right? So what do you think? Is that the way to deal with stress at work? You get angst up and all of a sudden, I'm going to find another job.
Well, okay, I was thinking about it more as that would make me more stressed to see if maybe my higher-ups are making more money than I am. And here I am doing the grunt work being stressed. I thought, okay, if I go and look at other people's salaries, I'm going to be more upset.
Okay, so we're going to do a PSA for once, right? And say that it's actually illegal for employers to say don't talk about salaries at work, right? But there is this really big animosity to when you actually do discuss salaries at work. And I try and drive, especially with the people I work with, hey, be open with this so that we can drive as a collective group for what we think that we are rated at, right? Because what you get paid and what your employer is going to pay may be 2 different areas, right? And you need to kind of have some knowledge when you come into those conversations. You can't come in with just nothing, right? And Fishbowl is actually quite a good app to really show you non-sponsored. Fishbowl doesn't do anything, nothing with Fishbowl. But it is a really good app. Go and download it.
Yeah, I think Glassdoor does something similar.
Glassdoor does a similar type thing. Yeah, absolutely. But the difference here is that Fishbowl, I think, is anonymous.
Oh, okay.
So it's literally just it does position and then place, and it doesn't link you to anything.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So it's a good tool.
Well, then I guess that's a good incentive. If you want to see if a job that you're interested in pays more than what you make, maybe that's the catalyst to get you out of the stress.
Yeah, and her way of dealing with it is exactly the way I deal with it. Whenever I've had a bad meeting, it's LinkedIn, all right, what can I see? I'll cool down afterwards.
Yeah.
But it always second okay, I'm ready to go. I'm pushed now.
Interesting that's your way to deal with it.
That's my will.
Put a blanket over my head and go to sleep.
2 very good tactics there. Now you're up to 3 tactics.
Yeah.
All right, should we get into the next clip?
Yes.
Quit Don't quit. Noodle.
That was it. It was just a small little clip.
The last part of that clip is so telling. Do you get noodles or do you not get noodles?
No, I think you get noodles.
Yeah,
you obviously do get noodles. It doesn't give you an option if you don't get noodles.
It's just
the
noodles.
clip is just quit, don't quit, noodles. That's it, right? I think there's obviously a generational thing. So depending on who's watching this, from which generation, will depend on like how quickly you change jobs, right? And I wanted to spark that one off by there is like you always have a choice where you're working. It's your choice. No one else can make that choice for you. You can get paid more, you can get paid the exact same, you can get paid less. That's your choice. I think, at least my perspective is now, move positions every 3 years. That's kind of my rota. It doesn't necessarily have to be a different position, but get it at a different place, right? And that you'll always then start, getting a salary increase, because that's, what most people want. But also, you get a different industry or you get a different feeling and you don't get the same old all the time. And that kind of passion and invigoration is very important as well.
Yeah. And inside of me is a boomer because I recognize that that's a good thing, that you should job hop and that's what people do nowadays. But I am like, just stay, be calm. It's very easy to get complacent and to want to stay and do the things that you know and keep the status quo, particularly when you have institutional knowledge of your institution or your company. And they put a lot of stress on you to stay and continue building that knowledge and help the next generation who comes in after you. So I would love to job hop, but I'm scared.
Okay, boomer. You're not even a boomer. You can't even get away with that meme. Yeah. Let's get on to the next clip, shall we?
Either I'm going to be quiet or I'm going to take it too far. There really is no in between.
I think that takes into account most relationships and workplace environments there. Just going, nothing, everything explosion, big explosion. What do you think? Do you like that clip?
Yeah, and I think some people, tend to bottle up their emotions, and that's why you just shake it.
Yeah. Shake it, explode!
Yeah. And it just sort of spews out all over everyone like acid, and people are like, oh, shielding their face. It's not pretty, but I can't help it. So I've tried now to be the person who's like, just be quiet. Rage. It's gotten so much easier now that the pandemic has introduced virtual meetings because I'm muted, my camera's off, and I can be like, ah! And no one knows.
So really what you're saying is every meeting you're there is like, yes, Deirdre, that's all fine. Mute button. God damn it, Deirdre, why did you do this?
F you, Deirdre.
I think that's about 90% of the world's population that are on Zoom calls now. So relatable fact, I think.
Very cathartic.
I like this one, yeah. I think I try and keep it a little bit more mellow, right? I try not to, and in fairness, like the people I work with are fantastic. So I don't really have a lot of bad things to say. I'm going to brag about that one. I really like who I work with, and it's pretty fun. But there is the occasional time when it's glad that it's muted. I am very glad that there's no camera and audio on.
Unless you slip up.
And slip up. It's happened once or twice. All right, next clip.
Yeah.
All right, so tell me, how do you manage stress at work? I cry. Like a lot. All right, so tell me, how do you manage stress at work? When I'm feeling stressed at work, I like to prioritize my goals from what's most important to what's least important. This helps me simplify my task, and most importantly, it helps me manage my stress. That's a good answer.
All right, so crying at work, yay or nay?
Yay.
Yay?
In the bathroom.
In the bathroom where no one can see you, right?
In a stall.
Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff in here with interviews, right? And like, you get very good at like noticing what people are trying to say without them saying it, right?
Yeah.
And there's this whole corporate double speak thing that's going on.
Yeah.
But I think if you really asked people how do they deal with work, crying.
Yeah. Maybe you go to your car.
Antagonistic comments.
Yes,
passive
definitely passive aggressive on Teams. Those sorts of things. Go to your car, which is code for I'm going to rage. Yeah. Maybe I'm taking a trip to Starbucks.
I'm going to flip my car over.
Yeah. So all of those things, I think are part of that double speak. But sometimes when you're feeling stressed, it's hard to just keep it in at work. You don't want your coworkers to see it because you don't want to seem like, a mamby-pamby.
Yeah. The favorite one for me is when you're replying to emails and someone's reiterating like, hey, have you got this? And I've sent it to you already. Right?
What about...
Hey, Deirdre... As per below.
Per below. Per
that's
our
my
previous conversation. Yeah. I'll cut someone for that.
Go sod yourself, Deirdre.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Per my previous email.
Per my previous email. Can you fuck right off? All right, next clip.
Yeah.
And your body's stress response to frustration is sometimes crying, but you have to present in a few minutes. You better work, bitch.
She's got it sorted. Like, she's crying 5 minutes before, like, or 5 seconds before, like, a Teams call. I'm cancelling that Teams call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the warble, it's not simply that you're crying, but the warble in your voice gives you away when you're like, hi, everyone.
How are you
Time to
doing?
start the meeting.
It's not a fun one,
It's
yeah.
audible. People are going to notice.
Yeah, you want someone else to start that one. Hey, excuse me, I'm running to the toilet. Would you mind starting this meeting and
Yeah.
I'll join you later?
Or write in the chat.
You've got to like, yeah, you got to
Say
get out of that.
something in the chat to say, my audio's not working right now. Can someone open up the meeting for me?
But noticing that this video is all about stress at work, right? And there are a load of different coping mechanisms. Crying's one of them, right?
Yeah.
Finding another job is another. But there've got to be kind of the association between, if you're getting to these levels, maybe you need another job.
Yeah.
Maybe this isn't the right place for you.
Right.
Maybe you need to like chill out, maybe relax. Maybe it's you, maybe it's employer. You need to really figure these ones out. But I think there's been some really interesting clips. I like the last one in particular because it's really teams orientated. Like, I love this whole teams dynamic of like crying, measuring yourself up, getting ready for the next one. Right?
Yeah.
That's working from home in a nutshell, I think.
Yeah. I enjoyed the fishbowl one because I had no idea fishbowl was a thing. But I think too, the overall arching concept behind these clips is that, work can be stressful. And if you are privileged enough to job hop, and if you're privileged enough to take time off of work and get back to your center and do the things that you need to do, that's great. But sometimes people aren't privileged enough to be able to do that. And if you have to work at a job that sucks the soul out of your body, then that's sad. And it's the reality for a lot of people. So you got to try and manage your stress in a way that's not going to kill you.
Yep. Now, viewers, if anyone's made it this far, go and have a look at the Fishbowl app. It's great. Good recommendation for that one, non-sponsored. If you liked our video, make sure you comment below, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.